Sophie, let me ask you something, and I want you to be completely honest with me.
Okay, that sounds a little scary, but go ahead.
When someone asks you, "How are you?" do you actually tell them how you feel, or do you just say, "I'm fine," and move on?
Oh, wow, we're starting there, are we? Right at the deep end.
Right at the deep end. No warm-up, no small talk.
Honestly, I say I'm fine probably 90% of the time. Even if I'm exhausted, even if I'm stressed, even if I woke up on the wrong side of the bed.
Exactly. And that's what today's conversation is all about. We're going to talk about human feelings, how to express them, how to describe them, how to talk about them naturally in English. Because feelings are complicated, and in English, there are so many ways to talk about them.
There really are. And I think for a lot of English learners, feelings can be one of the hardest things to express in another language because feelings are personal, they're deep. And when you don't have the right words, it can feel very frustrating.
It can feel isolating, actually, like you have all this emotion inside you and you just can't get it out in the right way.
That's such a good word, isolating. When you feel like no one understands you because you can't explain yourself properly.
So today, we're going to fix that. James and Sophie are here, as always, to help you feel more confident, more natural, and more expressive in English. Whether you're having a conversation with a friend, writing a message, or even just trying to understand your own emotions better.
And we're going to make this fun. We're going to share real stories, real examples, and by the end of this conversation, you're going to have a much richer vocabulary for talking about how you feel.
Let's get into it.
Okay, James, so let's start with the basics, because I think a lot of learners already know words like happy, sad, angry, scared. But native speakers don't usually talk like that in real conversations, do they?
No, they really don't. If someone asks me how I'm feeling and I say, "I am happy," that sounds a bit robotic, a bit textbookish.
Right, it sounds like a sentence from a grammar exercise.
Exactly. In real life, native speakers use much more colorful, expressive language. So instead of just happy, you might hear things like over the moon, on cloud nine, buzzing, elated, thrilled, on top of the world.
Ooh, I love those. Over the moon is one of my favorites. It just sounds so joyful.
It does, and it's very common. If something really good happens to someone, maybe they got a promotion or they found out they're going to have a baby, you might say, "She was absolutely over the moon."
Or, I passed my driving test. I'm over the moon.
Perfect example. And on cloud nine is similar. It means you're extremely happy, like you're floating. You're not even on the ground anymore. You're up on cloud nine.
I love that image. What about buzzing? I feel like that's a more casual one.
Very casual. Yeah, very British, actually. If you're buzzing, you're feeling excited and full of energy. Like after a great concert, you might say, "I'm still buzzing from last night."
Oh, that's so relatable. I felt that way after I saw a live show last year. I couldn't sleep because I was just buzzing.
Couldn't come down from it.
Exactly, couldn't come down. That's another good phrase, by the way. I can't come down from it, meaning you're still riding the high of the excitement.
Brilliant. See, this is what we mean by natural English. The vocabulary connects to real images, real feelings, real experiences.
Okay, so we've talked about happiness, but what about the other side? What about when things aren't going so well?
Ah, the darker emotions. Also very important to talk about. And I think actually these are the words people really need. Because it's easy to say you're happy, but it can be harder to find the right words when you're struggling.
That's so true. When I'm upset, I sometimes feel like I don't even know what I'm feeling. It's all just a blur.
A blur. Great word. Like everything is mixed together and unclear.
So walk me through some of the words for sadness, beyond just sad.
Okay, so you've got words like heartbroken, and that one is quite strong. It usually refers to emotional pain, especially from losing someone or something you love deeply. She was heartbroken when her relationship ended.
Yeah, heartbroken feels like a physical thing almost, like your chest actually hurts.
It does, and that's what's beautiful about the English language. These words often connect emotion to physical sensation. Then you've got devastated, which is even stronger. When you're devastated, it means something has completely knocked you down, like the ground disappeared under your feet.
I was devastated when my favorite team lost the championship. Does that count?
Absolutely. Sports heartbreak is very real, and don't let anyone tell you otherwise.
Thank you, James. I appreciate that.
Then you've got something a bit softer. Down, low, blue. These are used for when you're feeling a bit sad, a bit melancholy, but not dramatically so. I've been feeling a bit down lately. Very common, very natural.
I like blue. It has a kind of poetic quality. I'm feeling blue today. It sounds almost like a song.
There's actually a famous song, Blue by Billie Holiday, and the whole tradition of the blues in music comes from this idea. Blue as a color of sadness. Isn't that interesting?
It is. Language and culture are so connected.
Always. And then there's gutted, which is a very strong British word for extreme disappointment. If your plans fall through at the last minute, you might say, I was absolutely gutted.
Ooh, gutted. I like that one. It sounds so dramatic.
It does, and it usually is dramatic. When you're gutted, something really went wrong for you.
Okay, let's talk about anxiety and worry, because I feel like these are emotions that a lot of people experience today, especially with everything going on in the world.
Absolutely. And there's a huge range of vocabulary here, from mild worry all the way to intense fear. So at the lower end, you might say someone is uneasy, which means slightly uncomfortable or nervous about something, but not in a panic.
Like when you're about to go to a job interview, you're a bit uneasy.
Exactly. Or maybe you're waiting for test results. You feel uneasy. Then you step it up. Anxious, on edge, worked up. I've been really on edge lately. That means you're tense, jumpy, like something could go wrong at any moment.
I hate that feeling. Being on edge is exhausting.
It really is. And then at the stronger end, terrified, petrified, paralyzed by fear. Petrified is a great one. It literally means turned to stone, like you're so scared you can't move.
I was absolutely petrified. That's intense. What about nervousness in a social situation, like when you have to speak in public?
Oh, that's a very common experience. And in English, people might say things like, I had butterflies in my stomach, which means that nervous, fluttery feeling before something important.
Butterflies in your stomach. I love that one. It's so visual. You can almost feel it.
It's one of those idioms that everyone understands immediately because almost everyone has experienced it. And then there's my heart was pounding, meaning your heart was beating very fast because of fear or anxiety.
Or excitement. Your heart pounds from excitement too.
True, the body doesn't always know the difference between excitement and fear. Scientists actually say they're very similar physiologically.
That's wild. Your body's like, I don't know what's happening. I'm just going to speed everything up.
Basically, yes.
James, can we talk about anger? Because I think anger is one of the emotions that people struggle the most to express politely in a second language.
Oh, this is a big one. And you're right, anger has so many layers. There's mild irritation all the way to full-on rage.
Let's start mild. What do you say when something is just a little bit annoying?
So you might say you're irritated, annoyed, or a bit fed up. I'm a bit fed up with this traffic, meaning you've had enough, you're losing patience.
Fed up is a great one. Very British, very real.
Very real. Or cheesed off, which is informal and funny, but people genuinely say it. She was really cheesed off about the whole situation.
Cheesed off. I love English sometimes. Why cheese? Where did that come from?
Honestly, nobody knows for certain. English is full of mysteries like that.
Okay, what about something stronger, real anger?
So you move into furious, livid, seething. Seething is a powerful one. It means your anger is almost bubbling under the surface, like you're trying to stay calm on the outside, but inside you're boiling.
Ugh, I've been there. You're smiling, but internally you're like a volcano.
Exactly. And then there's losing your temper, which means you couldn't control your anger anymore, and it came out. He lost his temper in the meeting. That's when the volcano actually erupts.
And after losing your temper, you probably need to cool down, right?
Yes, I need to cool down, meaning calm yourself, let the anger pass. Or I need to blow off some steam, releasing that emotional pressure somehow, maybe by going for a run or talking to someone.
Blow off steam is such a good expression. I use that one a lot.
It comes from steam engines. If you don't release the pressure, eventually the engine explodes. Very applicable to human emotions.
We're not so different from machines sometimes, are we?
Let's not go too far with that comparison.
Okay, big question time. James, how do you personally handle difficult emotions? And wait, I'm also curious. Do you think it's easier to talk about feelings in English or in your native language?
That's such an interesting question. You know, I've heard from a lot of people who say that sometimes it's easier to talk about painful emotions in a second language because there's a little emotional distance. It doesn't feel quite as raw.
Oh, that's fascinating. Like the language creates a kind of buffer.
Exactly, a buffer. Like you're talking about the feelings, but they're slightly further away from you. Psychologists have actually researched this and found that people sometimes make more rational decisions when thinking in a foreign language.
Wow, So maybe English learners have a secret emotional advantage.
Maybe. Though I think the most important thing is always to find some way to express how you feel, in any language. Keeping things bottled up is never good.
Bottled up. That's such a useful expression. Keeping your feelings bottled up, like you've put them in a bottle and sealed the lid.
And eventually, just like pressure, something has to give. The bottle can only hold so much.
I've definitely had moments of things being bottled up for too long. And then one tiny thing happens and you just explode over something that doesn't even matter.
The straw that broke the camel's back. One small thing on top of everything else. And it's that last little piece that makes everything come crashing down.
I know that feeling well. Too well. Let's talk about some of the more complex emotions. Because I don't think feelings are always simple, are they? Like you can feel two things at once.
Absolutely. Emotions are messy, and English has some great words for those complicated mixed feelings.
Like what?
Well, have you ever heard the word bittersweet?
Oh yes, I love that word.
It's perfect for moments that are both happy and sad at the same time, like graduating from university. You're excited about the future, but you're sad to leave this chapter of your life behind. That's bittersweet.
Or when your child takes their first steps. You're so proud, but also they're growing up so fast, and part of you wishes time would slow down.
That's beautifully bittersweet. Or even watching a sunset. It's gorgeous, but it's fading. There's something melancholy about beauty that doesn't last.
Oh, James, that's actually deep.
I have my moments. What about conflicted? That's a great word for when you feel torn between two feelings or two choices.
I feel conflicted about this decision, like two parts of you are pulling in different directions.
Exactly. And you can also feel ambivalent, which means you have mixed feelings about something, neither fully positive nor fully negative. I'm ambivalent about the new policy. It's a more neutral, sophisticated word.
Ambivalent is a good vocabulary builder word. It sounds intelligent in a conversation.
It does. And then there's one of my favorites, nostalgic, when something makes you feel a warm kind of sadness for the past, a longing for something that is gone.
Oh, nostalgia is such a beautiful feeling, even though it's tinged with sadness. Hearing an old song from your childhood and just going back there in your mind.
Or the smell of something, a food your grandmother used to make. Scent is very powerful for nostalgia.
Absolutely. Smell and memory are so connected. There's a word for that, actually. The Proust effect, after the French writer Marcel Proust, who wrote famously about a Madeleine cake triggering a flood of memories.
See, we're getting literary now. Language, literature, emotion, all connected.
James, I want to make sure our listeners are getting some really practical things they can take away. Can we go through some situations? Like, how would you actually use these expressions in a real conversation?
Great idea. Let's do some real-life scenarios. Okay, scenario 1. You're talking to a friend and they ask how you're feeling after a difficult week at work. What do you say?
Okay, let me try. Honestly, I'm completely drained. It's been one of those weeks where everything just piles up on you. I'm exhausted, I'm a bit on edge, and I just need the weekend to decompress.
Perfect. Drained, meaning your energy is completely used up. Piles up, things accumulating. On edge, tense. Decompress, to relax and release tension, like a diver coming up slowly from deep water.
And all of that sounds completely natural, right? It doesn't sound like a textbook.
Not at all. It sounds like a real person. Okay, scenario 2. Your friend just told you they got a job offer they've been waiting months for. How do you respond?
Oh, are you serious? I'm so happy for you. You must be absolutely over the moon. You've worked so hard for this, you totally deserve it. This calls for a celebration.
Beautiful. Are you serious? A natural expression of surprise and excitement. Over the moon. You totally deserve it. Validating their feelings. This calls for a celebration, meaning we need to celebrate.
I love this calls for a celebration. It sounds so natural and enthusiastic.
Very natural. Okay, last scenario. A friend tells you they're feeling really low lately, struggling emotionally. How do you respond?
Okay. I'm really sorry to hear that. I had no idea you were going through that. Do you want to talk about it? I'm here for you. No judgment, just listening.
That's wonderful. And notice how Sophie didn't try to fix anything, didn't give advice immediately. She just offered presence and a listening ear. That's emotionally intelligent communication.
I'm here for you is one of the most powerful things you can say to someone who's struggling.
It really is. And no judgment, meaning I'm not going to criticize you or tell you how to feel. I'm just going to listen.
Which is sometimes all someone needs.
All right,
Let's talk about body language and physical expressions of emotions too. Because in English conversations, people don't just use words, they describe physical feelings too.
Oh, yes, like my heart sank when you get bad news and you feel that dropping feeling inside.
My heart sank. Wonderful. Like when you check your exam results and they're not what you hoped for, your heart just sinks.
Or I had a lump in my throat, that tight feeling when you're trying not to cry.
So common, so relatable. I had a lump in my throat during the wedding speech. You're moved, you're emotionally overwhelmed, but you're holding it together.
Moved is a great word too. When something moves you, a piece of music, a film, a speech, it affects you emotionally.
It stirs something inside you. I was deeply moved by the documentary. Very natural, very common.
And what about when you're so happy or excited you can't contain it? Like the feeling is physically coming out of you.
Oh, bursting with excitement, like you literally might burst. Or I could barely contain myself, meaning the feeling was so big it was hard to keep inside.
I could barely contain myself. I've definitely experienced that at a surprise party before. You know the surprise, and you just have to stand there acting normal.
The worst! Keeping a secret when you're bursting with excitement is genuinely one of the hardest things.
It really is. Your face gives everything away.
Your face gives it away. Another great expression. When your expression reveals what you're really feeling, even if you're trying to hide it.
James, can we touch on something important, talking about mental and emotional health? Because I think it's so important for people to have the language to talk about this.
Yes, and I'm really glad you brought that up. Because in many cultures, and in English-speaking cultures too, historically, there's been a lot of stigma around talking about mental health. But things are changing.
The conversation is opening up. People are more willing to say, I'm not okay.
And that phrase alone, I'm not okay, is actually really powerful. Because so often we say I'm fine when we're not. Saying I'm not okay takes courage.
And what do you say if you want to check on someone, if you think a friend might be struggling?
A simple, hey, are you okay? You seem a bit off lately. Off means not your usual self. Something isn't quite right. It's a gentle way to open the door.
You seem off, or you don't seem like yourself. Those are caring, but not intrusive.
And then you might say, I just want you to know I'm here if you ever need to talk. Low pressure, no forcing, just leaving the door open.
What about expressing that you're going through a hard time yourself? How do you open up in English?
You might say, can I be honest with you? I've been struggling a bit lately. Struggling is a powerful word. It means things are difficult. You're working hard just to get through.
Or I've got a lot on my plate right now, meaning you have too much to deal with at once.
A lot on my plate. Perfect. Or I'm running on empty, meaning you have no energy left. You're completely depleted, like a car that's out of fuel.
These expressions are so vivid. They paint a picture.
That's what great language does. It doesn't just tell you, it shows you.
Okay, before we wrap up, I want to do a quick recap of some of the best expressions we've covered today, because there have been so many good ones.
Great idea. Let's run through them.
For happiness, over the moon, on cloud nine, buzzing, thrilled, elated.
For sadness, heartbroken, devastated, gutted, feeling blue, feeling down.
For anxiety and fear, on edge, uneasy, worked up, butterflies in my stomach, petrified.
For anger, fed up, irritated, seething, livid, lost my temper, blow off steam.
For complex emotions, bittersweet, conflicted, ambivalent, nostalgic, moved.
For physical expressions, my heart sank, a lump in my throat, could barely contain myself. My heart was pounding.
And for opening up, I'm not okay, I've been struggling, I've got a lot on my plate, I'm running on empty, I'm here for you.
That is a rich vocabulary list. If you can use even half of those naturally, your English is going to feel so much more expressive, so much more real.
And so much more human. That's really what we want, to help you connect with people more deeply. In English.
And you know what? Talking about feelings isn't just good English practice. It's good for your well-being, too. When you can name your emotions, you can understand them better. You can process them better.
There's actually research that shows that labeling emotions, giving them a name, reduces their intensity.
Just saying, I feel anxious right now, can actually make the anxiety feel slightly less overwhelming.
Language is powerful like that. Words give shape to something that feels shapeless.
That's beautifully said, James.
Thank you. I try.
You do try, and usually succeed.
All right, before we go, we want to hear from you. Here are some questions to think about and practice your English in the comments.
Question 1. What's the hardest emotion for you to talk about in English, and why?
Question 2. Have you ever used a wrong word to describe a feeling and created a funny misunderstanding? We'd love to hear that story.
Question 3. Is there a word in your native language for a feeling that doesn't have a direct translation in English? Share it with us. We love learning about that.
That last one is one of my favorite things. Different languages have such incredible words for emotions that English doesn't quite capture. Portuguese has saudade, that deep longing for something or someone you love that's gone. German has Weltschmerz, a deep sadness about the world.
And Japanese has mano no aware, the gentle sadness of impermanence, the beauty of things that pass.
Every language captures something unique about the human experience, and that's why learning languages is so extraordinary.
It makes you more human, more understanding of others.
Couldn't have said it better.